All right, so we're going to take a deep dive today into something that affects millions of people.
Yeah, chronic joint pain.
It's a topic that hits close to home for a lot of our listeners.
Either dealing with it themselves.
Or know someone who is.
Exactly. And we're going to really dig into this.
So we found this article.
A day in the life of someone living with chronic joint pain.
And we thought this is perfect for a deep dive because it gets into...
Oh, it's a real nitty-gritty.
Like, what does it actually feel like?
Yeah, beyond just like, oh, my knees are a little stiff today. This is a whole different ball game.
Totally. And this article just throws you right in. Like, first thing in the morning, bam, the pain's already there.
Relentless. Before you even think about getting out of bed, it's like this heavy weight.
It makes you realize how much chronic pain impacts every single decision you make throughout the day.
Absolutely. Even the smallest things. Like, what am I going to have for breakfast? Can I even reach for that cereal box without a jolt of pain?
The article calls this mental negotiation, which I thought was such a powerful way to describe it. It's like this constant calculation going on in your head.
Weighing the potential pain of every single action.
Can I handle going for a walk today? Is it worth the pain to go meet a friend for coffee?
And it's exhausting, just that mental and emotional burden on top of the physical pain.
It can lead to this feeling of grief too, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, for a lot of people, there's this sense of loss for the life they had before chronic pain, the things they could do easily, their mobility.
And then there's the frustration of feeling like nobody really gets it.
Yeah, because you may look fine on the outside.
Right, exactly. So let's talk solutions. The article has a whole section on holistic pain management, and it really stresses finding what works for you.
It starts with working closely with healthcare professionals.
Getting that personalized plan.
Because what works for one person
Might not work for another.
Exactly.
And we've heard a lot about physical therapy, right?
Yeah, physical therapy can be a really important part of managing chronic joint pain.
But some people swear by it, and others say it hasn't helped them at all.
Right. And I think that's because PT isn't one size fits all. You've got to find the right type of therapy for your specific needs.
So what are some of those different approaches within PT that might be helpful?
Well, for some people, it's about strengthening the muscles around the joint. That can take some of the pressure off.
So like if your knee hurts, you might do exercises to strengthen your quads and hamstrings.
Exactly. For others, it might be more about improving flexibility and range of motion.
So they can move more freely without as much pain.
Right. And then there's learning proper posture and movement patterns.
Because how you move can really impact your joints.
Absolutely. So it's all about finding a therapist who really understands your individual needs.
Gets to the root of what's causing the pain.
Yes. And works with you to create a program that's tailored to you.
And it's not all about PT and medication, right? The article talks about other approaches too.
Oh, yeah. Medication can be a part of the plan, but it's not the only answer.
What are some other options people might want to consider?
Well, some people find a lot of relief from alternative therapies like acupuncture.
Interesting. I've heard that can be really effective for pain management.
It can be. It's not for everyone, of course, but it's worth exploring if you're looking for something outside of the traditional medical model.
Makes sense. And then there's the whole area of lifestyle adaptations.
Yeah, how you live your life can make a huge difference in managing chronic pain.
The article talks about making your home and workspace more ergonomic.
Which, at first glance, can seem a little overwhelming.
Right, like where do you even start?
Well, a good place to start is by thinking about the things you do every day that cause you pain.
Like reaching for things on high shelves?
Exactly, or bending over to pick things up.
So what kind of practical changes can people make?
Oh, there's a lot of cool stuff out there now, like voice assistants.
Oh yeah, you can just tell Alexa to turn on the lights.
Right. No more reaching for that switch. Or you can think about rearranging your kitchen so the things you use most are within easy reach.
Less bending and reaching overall.
And assistive devices can be amazing.
We talked about those earlier. What are some specific examples?
Well, simple things like jar openers that require less grip strength, or reacher grabbers to pick up objects without bending over.
I actually use one of those to get laundry out of the dryer.
See, they can be so helpful. And then there are mobility aids like canes or walkers.
Which can really take the pressure off your joints.
Yeah, they provide extra support and stability.
It's interesting because even though we're talking about physical things, it all ties back to the emotional side of chronic pain, too.
Oh, totally. Living with chronic pain is a huge emotional challenge.
The article has a whole section on emotional wellness, and I'd love to get your take on that.
Well, first of all, I think it's important to acknowledge that it's okay to not be okay.
Have bad days.
Absolutely. It's a lot to deal with. And finding ways to manage those emotions is crucial.
The article talks about mindfulness and meditation.
which can be really powerful tools.
But I think there's a misconception that mindfulness means like emptying your mind.
Yeah, and that's not really what it's about, especially when it comes to chronic pain.
So what is it about?
It's about learning to observe your pain without judgment, just noticing it's there. And studies have actually shown that this can help to reduce the intensity of pain over time.
That's amazing. And the article also emphasizes the importance of connecting with others.
Yeah, whether it's support from loved ones or connecting with people who are going through similar experiences.
Support groups can be really helpful for that.
They can be a lifeline. Because when you're struggling with chronic pain, it can be so isolating.
You feel like nobody understands what you're going through.
Exactly. But in a support group, you're surrounded by people who get it. They've been there.
And there's something so powerful about that shared experience.
It can help you feel less alone, less like you're going crazy.
And you can learn from each other, too.
Absolutely. People share coping mechanisms, tips, and resources.
There's a sense of community and hope.
And just knowing that other people are out there thriving despite their chronic pain can be really inspiring.
One practical tip from the article that really stood out to me was keeping a pain journal.
Oh, yeah, that can be a game changer.
I can see how tracking your pain levels and what triggers it could help you identify patterns.
Right, and maybe even figure out what things help to alleviate the pain.
It gives you a sense of control, too, I think.
Absolutely. Instead of just feeling at the mercy of your pain, you're actively participating in managing it.
And you can bring that journal to your doctor's appointments, too.
Exactly. It gives your healthcare providers valuable information to work with.
So it can lead to more informed treatment decisions.
Precisely.
We've talked about a lot of different strategies, but we also have to talk about the role of technology.
Oh, yeah. Technology can make a huge difference in managing chronic pain.
The article has a whole section on this, and I think it makes sense because technology is already making so many aspects of our lives easier.
Right. So why not apply that to chronic pain management, too?
Exactly. So what are some examples of how technology can help?
Well, we've already talked about things like smart home devices and ergonomic tools.
Which can make daily tasks less painful.
But there's also a ton of cool stuff happening with apps.
Oh yeah, like apps that help you track your pain levels.
Right. And also apps to track your medication, your activity levels.
So you can start to see what might be contributing to your pain.
Exactly. And telehealth is another game changer.
Being able to connect with doctors virtually.
From the comfort of your own home, it makes healthcare so much more accessible, especially for people who have mobility issues.
The article ends on such a hopeful note, saying that living with chronic joint pain doesn't mean surrendering your life to discomfort.
I love that quote.
It's so important to remember that.
Chronic pain may be a constant companion, but it doesn't have to control your life.
You can still find joy and fulfillment.
It's about adapting, building resilience.
Finding ways to thrive despite the challenges.
Exactly. And celebrating those small victories. Some days will be harder than others, for sure, but by understanding the complexities of chronic pain
And seeking support.
and advocating for yourself.
You can live a rich and meaningful life.
Absolutely.
So to everyone out there listening who's dealing with chronic pain, know that you're not alone.
Your pain is real, your struggle is valid, and there are resources available to help you navigate this journey.
We've included links to some of those resources mentioned in the article in the show notes.
So check those out. Keep learning, keep exploring, keep advocating for yourself.
You deserve it.
You really do.